What is up, you guys? My name is Alex Funicello, talking about the cost of living in Portland, Oregon. Talking about things like utilities, transportation, housing, tiny housing. What is that? Stay tuned. What's up, you guys? My name is Alex Funicello. I'm here to talk to you about the cost of living in Portland, Oregon. The true cost, from someone that was born and raised here. Let me start off by saying the quality of life here is rated higher. Based on all my research, it is just rated higher for multiple reasons. Some things that scored high for reasons are business freedom, healthcare, and environmental quality. And I wholeheartedly back those things up from living here my whole life. Currently living in downtown Portland. We can get into that later in another video, but the quality of life is high, the cost of living is higher. You get what you pay for, and there's a lot of good reasons for that. West Coast comparison, we're very reasonable to Seattle and Los Angeles. And personally, I think our quality of life is a lot higher here. It's kind of the sweet spot. One thing I want to say with business freedom, I wholeheartedly believe in that because I see a lot more elegant things around creative. People here support the local market like nowhere else I've ever seen. The local economy here is booming. It's kind of its little oasis. The healthcare here, there's a ton of physicians, there's a ton of holistic medicine, naturopaths, different styles, acupuncture everywhere. People take their healthcare very seriously, along with environmental quality, if you're noticing a trend here. Environmental quality is put high on the list: the water, the air, the electricity, how we get our electricity, electric vehicles. I'll go into that later. So it's rated very highly. Those are three of the things research that I did are on the top of the list for reasons. So let's jump right into it. What is the median home price? What's the median rent? Median home price right now in Portland, Oregon is $461,000, and that is straight off the MLS. I am a real estate agent. It is up 4.1% this year and has continually gone up. In the last 10 years, it's gone up 51.6%, and I think it's gonna continue to go up. Like I said before, I feel like Portland is its little own oasis. It's kind of like a little big city or a big little city. The median rent here is about $1,800, and that varies. You can get a studio apartment for, I've seen them as cheap as $1,000 to $2,000. You know, 1 to 3 bedrooms vary. But in the city, I would say a 2-bedroom is probably going over $2,000. But you can get a studio in the city, a nice one, for probably $1,300 to $1,500. Where you can save with living here and renting here is tiny houses. Tiny houses are currently legal here. I've seen a bunch of people helping their financial strength out by either letting someone park their tiny house in their yard or having a tiny house and parking it in someone's yard. I've seen it range from anywhere from $400 to $600 just to park a tiny house there. It can help with, if you buy a house, it can help with your mortgage, your rental income, or if you just want to live cheaply, you can buy a tiny house, you can build it on your own, live for cheap. There's a place over here in St. John's area that has a lot of people building them. There's a lot of people that'll help you build them. There's a lot of tiny home builders here to save money. What is the income? The average household income is about $61,500. Individual is about $36,500. There is a lot of restaurant entertainment business here that thrives because of the local economy. Right now, coronavirus is going on, but I think Portland is gonna hold strong because we take care of each other here. No joke. Taxes. Let's talk about taxes. There is no sales tax here. From living here my whole life, I get thrown off going to other states having to pay sales tax. It really messes with me. But with that, we have a higher income tax. Our income tax is about 9% compared to the national average at 4.6%. But like I said, I think there's a reason for that. People are happier. Food, I can attest here from living here in downtown Portland, the food is a little bit more expensive, but not much. You have a lot of ranges, anywhere from kind of hole-in-the-wall places to really nice restaurants. But based on research, the average for 2 people a nice dinner is gonna be about $60. For an average dinner, probably about $30 for 2 people. Portland is very pro on tipping because, like I said, as we take care of each other here. There's this breakfast place on the corner of Burnside and 20th right over here. I believe they factor in about $4 every meal for tips to take care of their employees. And you can tell That food is the best breakfast I've ever had. You know, it's probably about $28, but you get like a 3-course breakfast, and you can tell their employees are happy. Now let's get to the beer. There are tons of breweries. I'm pretty sure there's over 100. You can fact check me there. Pretty sure there's over 100. That's not even doing research. It's just going by a bunch of them. Probably domestic beer, you're gonna pay about $5, or imported $5 to $6. I mean, we can do a whole nother video on the beer here. Portland is known for its breweries. It is amazing. You should check it out. Wine, a little more expensive, about $17 a bottle. There's a lot of wineries outside of Portland, Newburgh, Sherwood, kind of the outskirts. There's a lot of wineries you can go to. Let's talk about healthcare. Healthcare here is slightly cheaper. It received a score of 85 out of 100 based on USA being 100. It's a little bit cheaper, and I think that is because there's just so many physicians here. There's a lot of medicine. There's a lot of good medicine. People have options, so they have to make prices competitive. Let's talk about childcare, right? Moving here, like, this stuff's great. I have a kid. What are the schools? Childcare. Childcare, preschool is going to be about $1,200 a month. And international primary school, based on research, about $18,000. We can do a whole nother video on schools if you guys want. Portland schools are great. Let's talk about utilities. Utilities on average for all of them gonna cost about $175, and that varies. I've dealt with a lot of utility companies here. They're nothing but reasonable. They will come out and look at stuff for free, not every time. Northwest Natural is out here. They're a great company. Internet's probably going to cost you about $67, and then obviously all your prescriptions, there's a lot of them out there nowadays, it's going to vary. Gym membership, very important. I go to 24 Hour Fitness in the Pearl right over there. It costs about $44 a month, and it is totally worth it. There's a lot of CrossFit here, different types of gyms. There's a lot of fitness here, trail running. People really like their fitness. Let's talk about transportation. On average, monthly pass is about $100. Bus, tram, anything used monthly is about $100. Gas is about $3.30 a gallon. So let's talk about electric vehicles, talk about transportation. There are a ton of electric vehicles here. You want to know why? Because Portland was ranked #1 on electrical vehicle readiness. That means there is more charging ports, more electric vehicles here than anywhere else in the country, because we prioritize environmental quality. Portland is very, very pro-electric, eliminating emissions and making it very reasonable for people to own them. I don't know exact quotes on to charge an electric vehicle unless you have solar, but I know it's less than gas. You can go calculate out those. There's a lot of superchargers here, anything like that. So you must be wondering, is Portland like Portlandia? And I would have to say, yes, it is. So that's a summary about the cost of living in Portland, my city where I grew up, I live. I'm gonna live here my whole life. I am a real estate agent. If you guys are wondering about renting, buying, any general questions, you can call me, text me, email me. I will leave all those contact things in the video. Feel free to hit me up whenever. I'm a real guy, I'm an average guy, just telling people all about Portland, why they might want to move here. It's a great city. It's kind of a little big city or a big little city. It's a sweet spot. People have all sorts of good things to say about it. People are moving here like crazy. Housing prices are only going up. I am a real estate agent. If you're curious about looking at properties, let me know. Mike can tell you all about them. If you're curious about something else, let me know what you guys want to see video-wise. I can make any video. If you guys want, drop me a like, comment, follow, anything. Reach out anytime. So here's a map of the Portland area, kind of showing where less expensive places and more expensive places are. As you can see, we get more pink and red. It's kind of the general concept all over the Portland area, with the most expensive places being Westland, Lake Oswego. Those are kind of luxury markets. Tualatin, Happy Valley's getting expensive. Beaverton, Northwest Portland is pretty expensive. You can get out in the suburbs over here. Beaverton, Aloha, Tigard, Milwaukee. It's kind of up and coming. Gladstone's up and coming. Oregon City's up and coming. There's a lot of fun things to do out here. I kind of think Oregon City has a good work-life balance. They're getting a lot of breweries, shops, houses.
But yeah, as you can see, based off this graph, it is a little more expensive, but you can get pockets in here where it's less expensive. The further east you go out, the cheaper it's going to get. Portland has some older homes. A lot of them have been remodeled. You get out to Gresham, it gets a lot cheaper here. Wilsonville is pretty expensive, the luxury market. Sherwood, Newburgh is getting up there. I feel like the market is expanding out each and every year. And as you can see here, Portland is on number 15 of the cities of most expensive, with number 1 being New York. So we're pretty up here. But like I said, I think it's for a reason. People are happy here. Check this out. Portland takes top spot. Electric car readiness. Number 1. Listed as follows. This whole article says why Portland is number 1 for electric vehicles. Pretty sweet. Saves money and the environment. So, healthcare. Remember I was saying there are a lot of physicians in Portland, a lot of options, and here this graph kind of shows it. The bluer it gets, the more physicians, the whiter it gets, the less physicians. So Portland area, very, very, very heavy on physicians, even the outskirts here. A little less over here on the west side, but Portland very heavy with physicians. They must like it here. Let's take a peek at an unemployment map. Here you can see Portland area. The lighter you go, a little less. The oranger you go, a little more unemployment. As you can see, Portland as a whole, pretty low unemployment rate. I know it's lower than the national average. It's like 3.6 or something like that. There's a lot of jobs in Portland. There's a lot of job growth. Like I said before, the business freedom. There's a lot of business freedom in Portland area. The suburbs, I think not so much. More chains. Portland area really supports local, smaller businesses. So that's a really awesome thing. So let's look at rent in the Portland area. This graph showing rent around the Portland area is a little cheaper based on national average. I think that's because there's a lot more studios, smaller 1-bedrooms. You get down in the Pearl and the nice areas, they're obviously going to go up. I think the outskirts, you're going to get bigger apartments, a little bit more money. But as you can see, the general Portland area, not too bad. So let's take a look where Portland is at in the cities of the U.S. Number 1, New York. Number 15, Portland. So as you can see, it is rated a bit expensive, but like I said, I think it's for a reason. So talking about tiny houses, ADUs, there's a ton of them in Portland. As you can see, we're on Craigslist, Portland. First one pops up, $500. Tiny house parking available. This is a co-living community. That means a bunch of them can be put on them. There's a lot of people out there that'll just allow you to park a tiny house on your land. If you buy a house here, this can be you. Supplemental income, $500, just for them to park their house there. Now you may have to share utilities. You can work that out with them. Usually it's pretty easy. They just plug in, make it pretty quick. $500 a month, 12-month lease. Nice house. There's a lot of nice people out there. That's a way you can supplement a lot of income or live for cheap in your own tiny house.
Once again, my name's Alex Funicello, living in Portland, Oregon. Hope you liked the video. Here's the shot. By the way, remember I am a licensed real estate agent in Oregon. If you're interested in buying, selling, feel free to contact me anytime. My email, phone number, call, text, any time of the day. It'll be in the description below.